For Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. The Senate has just hours left to avoid a partial government shutdown, and in about face, Democrat Minority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York says he will vote for the continuing resolution that includes cuts of about $13 billion in non-defense spending and increasing defense spending by about $6 billion. Schumer says Democrats have two painful choices: vote yes and give President Donald Trump vast discretion on spending, or vote no and give him free rein.
For Donald Trump, a shutdown would be a gift. In a shutdown, we would be busy fighting with Republicans over which agencies to reopen, which to keep closed, instead of debating the damage Donald Trump's agenda is causing the American people. I believe it is my job to make the best choice for the country, to minimize the harms to the American people. Therefore, I will vote to keep the government open and not shut it down. There is nobody in the world, nobody, who wants to shut the government down more than Donald Trump and more than Elon Musk.
Two federal judges have ordered the Trump administration to reinstate probationary workers let go in mass firings across multiple agencies. Both district judges, William Alsop in San Francisco and James Breadfar in Baltimore, found the firings did not follow federal law and required immediate offers of reinstatement, at least temporarily. The Trump administration has let go of some 200,000 probationary employees. The administration has already appealed the first ruling. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt cast it as an attempt to encroach on the president's power to hire and fire employees. The administration's asking the Supreme Court to allow restrictions on birthright citizenship to partly go into effect while legal fights play out in lower courts. In an emergency application filed Thursday at the High Court, the Trump administration asked the justices to narrow court orders entered by district judges in Maryland, Massachusetts, and Washington that blocked the president's executive order denying citizenship to those born after February 19th to parents who are undocumented. Trump signed the order shortly after being sworn in for a second time. The order also forbids agencies from issuing any document or accepting any state document recognizing citizenship for such children. The Trump administration has resumed the detention of immigrant families, changing course from a Biden-era pause on family detentions. Two centers have reopened for family detentions in southern Texas. In a press conference this week, advocates and pediatricians denounced the return of family detention, calling it inherently inhumane. Detention Watch Network's advocacy director, Setra Getterandi, says Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, has expanded detention operations throughout the country in order to meet the president's mass deportation agenda.
Over the last several weeks, ICE has also expanded detention operations into several Department of Justice Bureau of Prisons facilities. This includes facilities in Miami, Atlanta, Leavenworth, Kansas, Philadelphia, and soon to be Berlin, California. Like all ICE detention facilities, these BOP facilities have a long-standing history of abuse.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration's plan for detaining migrants at the naval station in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, is not going as planned. All 40 people being detained there have been sent back to the U.S., with no further deportation flights planned. A federal court in the District of Columbia is scheduled to hear arguments in a pair of cases involving migrant detention at Guantanamo. Hamas says it's accepted a proposal from mediators to release one living American-Israeli hostage and the bodies of 4 dual nationals who had died in captivity. It did not specify when the release of soldier Idan Alexander and 4 bodies would occur or what it expects to receive in return. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office has cast doubt on the offer, accusing Hamas of using manipulation to sabotage talks in Qatar on the next stage of the ceasefire. The first phase ended 2 weeks ago, though Israel has sought to change the terms of the agreement, as has the Trump administration. Farah Siddiqui has more.
Trump's special envoy of the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, has delivered a new proposal for building on the tenuous Gaza ceasefire, but he says Israel is not satisfied with what it's seeing from Hamas.
A starter is Hamas demilitarizing, not rearming, leaving all their arms on the ground, and leaving Gaza. That's the start.
I'm Farah Siddiqui for Pacifica Network and Public News Service.
Chanting "Fight Nazis, not students," hundreds of activists with Jewish Voice for Peace and other allies occupied Trump Tower in New York City yesterday, demanding the immediate release of Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil, who's been detained without charge and faces deportation over his campus activism against Israel's war in Gaza. Sonia Meyerson-Knox is communications director with Jewish Voice for Peace.
Against the Trump regime's abduction of Mahmoud Khalil and to defend our right to protest, demanding that his unconstitutional abduction be revoked, demanding he is freed.
I'm Christina Onnested reporting for Pacifica Radio.